I feel like we have given Dream the benefit of the doubt time and time again on the issue of his stans. I first remember when the YouTuber by the name of Happyheart made a video criticizing one of the videos Dream had made. Dream responded with a video of his own. Although most people took Dream's side, Dream apologized for how he handled the situation, as he acted aggressively and sent thousands of his fans after Happyheart, and then he promised that he would do better. That was in July of 2020. When Dream got called out by Geosquare and the speedrun team mod for cheating in the speedrun, Dream went back when he said to Happyheart and responded very aggressively again, causing the speedrun mods to get a ton of hate from his stans. Again, Dream apologized and said he would do better. Just recently, Dream got into a drama with Swan, and once more he responded aggressively and let hundreds of his stans attack Swan. Now Dream was actually in the right in the drama for once, and Swan messed up big time by lying to his friends and fans for weeks about something so insignificant. But at the same time, why did some guy with a fraction of Dream's subscriber count piss Dream off so much? All he did was try to troll some other person into thinking Dream said the N-word. Why did Dream choose to make an entire livestream on such an insignificant event? There are many more examples of Dream going after smaller YouTubers and streamers. The Mr. Epic, Junky Janker, Jawsh, ColinSmoke, all these people Dream has gotten in a drama with varying levels of warranty and severity. However, there is one thing that remains constant. Dream stans always attack the person who Dream talks negatively about, and Dream either does nothing to stop it, or makes an apology that would later be proven historically false. For months, the main conclusion people have made about Dream stans was that Dream is just a hapless dude, who got unlucky by having such a toxic fanbase. But after some research, I'm starting to think that there might be way more going on. First off, I want to talk about my previous prediction that other Minecraft communities will start to have problems with stans. Although I have been mostly right with my theories with my Dream Stan videos, I found that the opposite of what I predicted has happened in this scenario. While many creators have started to develop stans, none of them come close to the toxicity of Dream's fanbase. A good example are Tired Twitter stans. Tired Twitter is a Minecraft community filled with a bunch of Bed Wars YouTubers like HannahXXRose, Krusty David, Estelic, Gamerboy80, and more. While I still think it is pretty weird that people would want to be associated as stans, at the end of the day, who cares? It's weird, but it's the Minecraft community. You have to be some level of weird to be in the Minecraft community. From what I can tell, the Tired Twitter stans never attack anyone. They never sexualize the content creators they're standing, and the content creators themselves don't try to take advantage of their fans. There's a similar situation for a lot of other Minecraft YouTubers. No one ever talks about Markiplier stans, despite the fact that they almost certainly exist. Charlie D'Amelio is one of the biggest people on social media and has loads of stans. I never hear about her stans attacking random people or sexualizing her, especially not on the same level I hear about Dream stans. This doesn't mean that other stans never go out and attack other people, but on the off chance it does, it is almost always confined to their one community. Why are Dream stans so different? You could argue that the reason other community stans are not as toxic is that they have not had the chance to be. Dream gets into drama a lot. Well, I could probably count on my fingers the amount of times Markiplier has gotten into drama, but that does not make a lot of sense either. People started calling out Dream on his toxic fanbase before a lot of his major controversies happened. Not only that, but where were all the Luke the Notable stans when Luke was called out for trying to copyright the term 100 days? Luke the Notable has a lot of stans, a lot more than you expect. Yet, when everyone was shitting on them, no one even considered to go after his stans from what I saw. Really, the only stan communities that have the same problem Dream does are stan communities for K-pop. However, the difference between the K-pop community and Dream's community is that Dream regularly interacts with them and constantly defends them. I wouldn't be surprised if BTS has never interacted with their stans once. This isn't me trying to shit on K-pop stans, it's just that due to the language barrier, Jungkook can't really thank his English-speaking fans for making compilation videos of himself without a translator, nor can Luna call out celebrities from America for not liking her music. I would keep the fact that Dream regularly interacts with his stans in mind for the rest of the video. So what I have discussed should show that stans are not always the toxic and horny teenagers the internet has made them out to be, just as long as they are controlled. However, that begs the question why Dream stans are the one exception. Why are Dream stans so much more toxic and aggressive than all other stans? As hinted at the beginning of the video, I think it has to do solely with Dream himself. I believe Dream is passively encouraging his stans' bad behavior, through how he treats his fans and how he treats the people he gets in a drama with. I'm not entirely sure if Dream knows what he is doing or not, but I don't think that matters. Dream influences his stans to misbehave whenever he himself acts toxic and aggressive. His easily impressionable stans carry out those behaviors over to their own personalities. I'm not the only one who thinks this either. In a previous video, I talked about Dream's beef with the streamer ColinSmoke, and he really did not need to know anything, besides Dream got really mad at him and sent his fanbase over to attack him in a series of now deleted tweets. When ColinSmoke responded, he heavily implied that he thought it was Dream himself, and not the stands that were the rude cause of him getting hate. A similar situation happened with Jawsh. In February of 2021, Jawsh tweeted out, "Most issues pertaining to a content creator's community can be traced back to the behaviors of their content creator. If your community is toxic like this, it is most likely your fault. Whether or not it's intentional does not matter. Get your priorities straight, you know who you are." While Jawsh does not specifically call out Dream here, come on. Booth Delivery, Astro, Connor01, Poke, all these people have recently come out and either flat out said or hinted that they were not okay with Dream's behavior. However, I do have to make actual points with evidence now. First, I want to talk about how Dream handles his beef with other creators. In July of 2020, Dream tweeted out, "If I ever voice an opinion, I don't want any hate to be spread. Please don't hate in my name, it makes me disgusted. However, I'm not going to silence myself due to the actions of others, as that's not fair to myself. I think this is fair, and if you disagree, that's perfectly fine." And to his credit, that is a fine opinion to have. A lot of people have made their careers off of going after other YouTubers or online personalities. Not only do they not have a problem with their fanbase, but a lot of them are pretty highly respected. However, what separates Dream from someone like Jay Aubrey or Optimus is that he goes after people way too aggressively for what they actually did to him. That causes his fanbase to act accordingly. When you take a step back and look at all of Dream's controversies, the only one he really needed to respond to was him getting accused of cheating in a speedrun. So many of the issues Dream gets himself into are total non-issues until he responds to them. His video responding to Happyheart's criticisms has around 14 times as many views as Happyheart's original video. His response video where he reacts to a criticism video made by the Mr. Epic also has around 14 times as many views as the original video. Not only that, I would have to assume that their videos had a lot less views when Dream responded to them. And I would be willing to forgive Dream if he had actually learned anything over time. You might remember in December when the YouTuber Jawsh tweeted out about how he hates stands. Jawsh had mentioned Dream once here, and he even made a follow-up tweet that implied he was more so talking about political streamers. But yet, Dream, having the fragile ego he has, had to respond to Jawsh and blow up the situation. Again, maybe Dream learned his lesson from December, but no. 2 months after the Jawsh drama, a small YouTuber by the name of Nightriez made his own video discussing whether or not Dream faked his manhunt. Now, I will say, I have not watched any of Nightriez's video or Dream's response livestream, but that does not matter. It does not matter if Dream faked his manhunt videos or not, because Dream looks like a total douchebag just by responding to this. I do not know how many concurrent viewers Dream had while streaming, but the Twitch VOD where Dream responds to the video by Nightriez has exactly 2,212,971 views as of writing. Now, I want you to guess how many views the video by Nightriez had when Dream responded to it. We know this for a fact because Dream showed the view count of the video while he was streaming. How many views do you think this video had? A video so important that one of the biggest YouTubers in the world had to respond to it. If you guessed around 2,000, then you would be correct. That is absolutely insane. I do not understand how someone could be so hurt by such a tiny video when you are as big as Dream. Who cares if what Nightriez was saying was so outrageously slanderous towards Dream? The video had less views than some of my videos and I only have 500 subs. Bonus meme. Now again, I have to clarify that GM did technically win his beef with Swan, but I can't help but laugh at this tweet Dream made in the middle of the beef. I am really not sure why he brought this to Twitter in response to a post on a random subreddit. I comment of 20 likes, but I assume it's just for attention. Apparently, when Swan responds to a Reddit post with only a percentage of his following, he is doing it for attention. It is perfectly fine when Dream responds to a YouTube video with 2,000 views. Another big trend of Dream's responses to criticism is him getting overly frustrated and aggressive. I already mentioned this at the beginning of the video, but Dream keeps on having to apologize for being too aggressive, but when the next controversy comes around, he acts aggressive again. This happened with the Happyheart drama, the speedrun drama, and most recently with the Swan drama. In the Swan drama especially, Dream originally decided to go on for an interview with Swan and Keemstar instead of saying anything publicly, but apparently he could not keep his mouth shut and did his own livestream. I don't understand why Dream just couldn't say what he was going to talk about in the livestream for the interview. If he really wanted to have a conversation with Swan, he would have waited for the interview. Once again, Dream was ultimately right in his claims, but that just makes it worse. Since he was right in the drama, there was no reason to go on a livestream when he could just wait for the debate to expose Swan. Dream acted so recklessly and irresponsibly, I find it hard to sympathize with him. It's the same way for all the other feuds and controversies Dream has gotten himself into. Now, you might be wondering how everything I just said connects to Dream indirectly encouraging his stands' bad behavior. Well, I think that Dream might be blowing up minor drama into major drama in an attempt to become even bigger, while either not thinking about it or not caring about the consequences of his actions. When Dream goes after someone like Jawsh for nothing more than passive-aggressive comments, or someone like Nightriez who is just trying to provide a theory for why Dream's manhunt videos might be fake, it magnifies the issue exponentially, and all of a sudden dozens of content creators are racing to get their videos on the situation out. Not to mention that the Twitter trending page usually gets completely taken over by the drama, so thousands of people who don't care about Dream end up seeing it anyway. To top it all off, by acting so toxic towards the people he's in a drama with, this encourages his stands to attack the people as well. Dream may say that he does not condone anyone attacking creators he gets in a beef with, but to Dream's fans, actions speak louder than words. Dream says that he does not condone his stand's actions and looks down upon anyone who acts toxic to people that Dream does not like. But at the same time, Dream himself acts super toxic to the majority of people who criticize him. Why should anyone, both for or against stands, take what Dream says about them seriously when he doesn't even follow his own rules? I am not claiming that Dream is doing this on purpose, but it does not take a rocket scientist to put 2 and 2 together. Like Jawsh said previously, most issues pertaining to a content creator's community can be traced back to the content creator's own behavior, and Dream is the prime example. Now, I do have to give credit where credit is due. Dream does not always go out and make an erratic, aggressive video whenever he sees someone criticizing him. A lot of YouTubers such as TagSwag and Jaden have also gotten responses from Dream, and Dream did it in a much more civilized way. He just left a simple comment, and while he disagreed with some points of the video, he still respected their opinion. Dream also apologized to Addison Rae when Stans went after her. However, I don't see why Dream isn't applying what he does here to other controversies. Why did Jawsh deserve an aggressive call-out post while Addison Rae deserved an apology? Why did Nightriez deserve an entire 2-hour Twitch stream in front of millions of people, while Dream was able to pull himself together and just write a YouTube comment to Jaden? This section does not have much to do with the rest of the video, I'm just genuinely confused by Dream's different responses. Next, I want to talk about the sexualization of Dream and his friends, because not only do I think that Dream is passively encouraging his stans to go after people he doesn't like, I think he is also passively encouraging his stans to sexualize him as well. In January of 2021, Dream tweeted out, "I've said this before, but don't chip creators that are uncomfortable with it, especially not minors. It's disgusting to draw NSFW stuff about minors or anyone that hasn't explicitly said it's fine." Now, if this is all he tweeted, I would not see any issue with this, but instead, Dream followed up with, "Also, I'm not a minor, and no one that has ever been in any of my videos ever is a minor, yet somehow this is my fault." Dream, I know you are not dumb. You claim to have studied the algorithm, YouTube, Reddit, whatever for years. How could you say something this stupid and wrong? This is literally, objectively wrong. On April 5th, 2020, Dream uploaded a video in which Purpled, who was 16 at the time, made an appearance. This contradicts Dream's claim that he never had a minor in his videos. Not only that, but it does not matter if Dream actually never had minors in a video he made or not. I believe Dream was the one who invited Tom Unit, Tubbo, and Rambo to all join the Dream SMP, exposing the minors to his fanbase, which at some point he knew contained people willing to draw NSFW of minors. Even if he didn't personally invite them, he did not kick them out like he did with Jawsh. On top of all that, Dream was the one who invited his 14-year-old sister, Drista, to the Dream SMP. He did this not only in October, but again in December of 2020. This was after Dream directly acknowledged his stance drawn NSFW of the underage people in his community, so he can't claim ignorance that he didn't know at this point. While Dream did not tell his fans to draw the graphic pictures, it is still Dream's fault that he exposed his underage friends and little sister to his community, especially after he knew that those kinds of people were in the community. I find it hard to take this whole statement seriously when he denies any responsibility whatsoever and claims that he had no involvement in any of this. It is partly his own actions to blame. Now, maybe all of this could be excused if Dream wasn't passively encouraging his stans to sexualize him and his above-age friends. Dream likes to claim that by just talking about the Dream stans drawn porn of him and his friends, he is only making the problem bigger by exposing it to more people. Now, this is true, but it is hard to side with Dream here considering he still talks about sexualization in his community a ton. I'm not just talking about the stans either. Dream and his friends constantly make jokes where they sexualize each other. Now, this is not very uncommon for YouTubers to do. People like Jawsh and Kami Carson are pretty infamous for this exact same thing. The difference is that Jawsh and the other people who make sexual jokes not want their fans to do the same thing. They are fine with people they know and are comfortable with joking about them in a sexual way, but they draw the line at their fans doing it because they don't know them, and they make that very clear. On the other hand, Dream has said he thinks it's funny when his fans sexualize him.
we have sat there reading like fanfics that are like the most lewd, disgusting stuff, laughing. So trust me, we do not care. We do not care in any way. Whoever wants to say anything about us, we don't care. So we just want to address that because people get upset about that. And I've seen so many people getting canceled over that. And it's like, come on, guys. Like, really? We don't care. None of us care. Don't be upset on our behalf because we don't care about it.
Not only that, but he has made quite a few tweets baiting his friends and followers to play along with them. Dream acts shocked and disgusted when people sexualize some of his friends, and he'll post a picture of a naked Carl Jacobs and Quackity sucking on a hot dog. You can claim that these are jokes all you want, but clearly a lot of people don't see it that way. Some people will see Dream say that he is okay with being sexualized, and see Dream sexualizing some of his friends, and then they will start to think that sexualization in general is completely fine and apply that to other people who are either a minor or do not want to be sexualized. What I have learned from observing Dream in this community is that it is not enough for Dream to say, "It's okay if you sexualize me, but just don't do it to other people," especially when you have the influence Dream does. Dream has to be completely against it. It doesn't matter how much you say that everything you do is a joke. It doesn't matter how many times you say that you have no control over your fanbase. If you do not boldly come out against sexualization, people will take that as you encouraging it and promoting it. Is it really that big of a stretch to say that stans have been influenced by Dream making sexual comments towards his friends, make sexual comments towards YouTubers they do not know? After saying all of this, you might be wondering what Dream should do. If Dream really wants to change his fanbase for the better, I think he needs to do the following steps. First, publicly apologize to people like ColinSmoke, Jawsh, and Nightriez for the harassment they faced by Dream calling them out. Dream may have done this in private, but I think it is better if he does this in public so people know that he at least says he is remorseful. Next, Dream should make one last Twitter statement speaking out in general against any of his stans harassing other people on Dream's behalf, or sexualizing himself and his friends. This is to have one big statement to point to if he needs to. Lastly, and this is the important one, if Dream really wants to change his community for the better, he has to stop responding to every criticism video he sees, at least publicly. In fact, I think it would be best if Dream stopped responding to them entirely. Right now, I feel like Dream and the YouTube community are trapped in a cycle, where someone will criticize Dream for something, Dream will respond aggressively, and his stans follow Dream's lead and attack the critic. Then, someone else sees the drama, and sees Dream and his fanbase screw up, that makes that person make another exposed video on Dream. Then the cycle repeats. If Dream just stopped responding to people making callouts on him, the cycle would be broken. People could no longer call out Dream for mishandling his stands when there is no drama to mishandle his stands in. Another thing to consider is how Dream exponentially blows up drama whenever he responds to it. I never once considered for a moment that Dream's manhunt videos were fake, so he started responding to the accusations. Now it's all I can ever think about when someone mentions the manhunt. Now, this is not to say that Dream should completely avoid any and all criticism. If there is ever something like the speedrun cheating scandal, then yeah, Dream should totally respond to it. Plus, if the criticism is something like, "I think Dream needs to find better music to use for his videos," Dream can respond to it indirectly by finding better music. But if it's just one dude with 50k followers making passive-aggressive tweets towards you, or some guy with 100k subscribers making their 10th exposed video on Dream stands, then why bother? For months, the public opinion was that Dream got really unlucky with having such a toxic fanbase. If you have learned anything from Dream, that sometimes luck is not always to blame. Dream has one of the worst and most infamous fanbases on all of social media, especially when compared to other stan communities. Dream constantly gets into overblown and unnecessary drama, and he almost always acts aggressive whether he is right or wrong. He constantly sexualizes his friends as well, even though he claims he wants the sexualization in his community to stop. It is easy to just say that everybody should just ignore the influence of their favorite content creators and celebrities and think for themselves. That is just simply not reality. The majority of people are content with just regurgitating the opinions of more ambitious people they like. That is not going to change anytime soon. If Dream really wants to change his fanbase for the better, he'll have to take responsibility for his actions and how they, unintentionally or not, encouraged his fans to become the monster that the YouTube community thinks they are. If Dream doesn't stand up to his fanbase, however, then I'll see you in the next video.
I'd been a soldier since I was 19, and I still haven't learned how to wait for it. I wanted a mission for my sins. They gave me one. Nobody'd ever gone on a mission like it before. And when it was over, I'd never want another one.